A sticky summer's day in Shepherdstown. An eagle in a thermal is a circling round like a tire on a bike rolling down Columbus Street. But Katie got a little look of hope in her eyes, and her arms unfold and she looked to the skies and said, I'm gonna learn to fly around with you, yeah. She jumped up high and she fell on the ground and skinned her little knee and made a horrible sound. She got right up and she tried it again and smiling all the way with her unstoppable grin.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to episode 149 of Knitting on the Fly. I am Katie, your host. As per the title, we will get to the Stork on the Fly segment towards the end. So those of you who want to stay can stay, and those who want to go can go. It is a boy. The most important part of that entire test was the fact that all my genetic testing came back normal, which is the whole reason we did it. The added bonus was that we got to know that it was a boy probably 6 weeks earlier than we would have otherwise, maybe even closer to 8 weeks earlier. So that was the added bonus. We will get that to more. We will get to that more later. It has been crazy around here. Winter went out with a bang. Sorry, I'm getting my show notes. I didn't realize I'd set them so far away from me. Sorry about that. So, okay, ready? You think I'd be ready? Jet setting. As it has gotten warmer, winter went out with a bang about 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. 2 or 3 weeks ago on a Wednesday night, we got another blast from Mother Nature. It was, in Manchester, it was in the form of freezing rain, followed by about an inch of snow on top, which was a nightmare to clean our planes off the next morning. I got to Rockland, and we had 6 inches of heavy wet snow. My crocuses were covered. The chickens were not impressed. I was not impressed. It's not fun. So, we have not had any more snow here since then. There's a slight chance tonight, or this weekend, I'm sorry. Oh, it's April 23rd, by the way, 2015. I'm Jet Girl 1313. But anyway, what was I saying? We've not had anything else. We have a chance. Oh, I just thought of something. Hold on. A big thing. Hold on. I've been trying to do show notes all day and I keep thinking of things. So it went out with a bang. It did melt very quickly, which was great, but it still sucked. We do have a chance of snow this weekend. I'm hoping, sorry for those inlands, that it's going to stay off the coast. I'm hoping that the coast will work to our advantage and keep us a little more warm. A little warmer. More warm? Warmer. We have been doing work on the chicken run. We've been doing work on the flower beds. We've been chopping stuff down. We've had a lot of this crappy, brushy, shrubby stuff around our property, and we hate it. And my honey went to work on it over the weekend and chopped the crap out of a whole bunch of it. So that's pretty fantastic because it really opens up our driveway and it doesn't look so icky. It's fine when it's green, but right now it just looks like junk. So I'm glad that he has a huge pile of that stuff all chopped down. So that was fantastic. Last weekend we also put up our new mailbox, which is what I got for my birthday. I got a wonderful mailbox that has our family name on it. It says, you know, our last name, family. We put our address on it on both sides and reflective numbers. And we got that put up last weekend, and it looks fantastic. And the door opens and closes since ours got knocked down like 3 times from the snow, from the snow plows over the winter. And it's finally by our driveway, and not by our landlord's driveway. He's not our landlord anymore. We bought it. It's mine. It's ours. Hopefully gonna be planting flowers this weekend. My hyacinths are coming up. My daylilies, nope, not daylilies. My daffodils are coming up. My crocuses are blooming. So the rest of the flower bed will just be planted with some annuals. So I am gonna go get some of those for some instant color this weekend. Big sale at Home Depot. we have been flying Wendy a lot, my honey especially. Any chance he gets to go bang around in the sky he takes it. So he's taken one of our local friends a few times, another friend of ours another time. I got to take up some friends of ours from way up north, about a 4-hour drive. They were coming down to do some shopping. I won't say what because you never know who might watch. And they stopped in and we went and had lunch and we went flying, and the kids had never been flying at all, so it was really fun to take them up for the first time, and they both loved it and they thought it was great. So that's always very fun to expand people's horizons on the flying front, because that was how I got my start. Then 2 weeks ago our septic alarm went off. Our alarm means that the water level is too high. So either the pump is not working, something is jammed, we don't know. So we had never actually dug out our septic area. It's always been covered with a bunch of stuff that our landlord had left there. We lived here for 5 years. Of course, we bought it in August, and now 4 months later, 5 months later, 6 months later, we have a septic problem. So it was Easter weekends. So maybe it's 3 weeks now. Easter weekends, and it happened on a Thursday night. I called a whole bunch of plumbers on Friday. No one would call me back. I only got 2 people to call me back ever. We called about 10 plumbers on Monday. So we went into water conservation mode. Showered at a friend's house. My honey wasn't home. I just, didn't use water as much as possible. If I did use water, I tried to catch it into one of our big stock pots, and I went and dumped that outside. We made do. We did not have water from Friday, or we didn't have septic from Friday to Thursday. Pretty sure we got screwed by our plumber. So no offense to anybody who is good friends with plumbers, or is married to a plumber, or is a plumber, but this guy was a rip-off artist. I'm very angry. We are not paying the entire bill. My honey took charge of dealing with it and gave him an out to kind of maybe split the cost of what we think we shouldn't have been charged for. And he said he's never negotiated a bill in all his years being a plumber and blah, blah, blah. And I came out right away. No, he didn't come out. He did come out. He came out Monday. All he did was look at the system and said, I'll come back tomorrow and I'll troubleshoot it. We already knew it was a pump. I'd already troubleshot it with the company that installed it. So, yeah, he came out for 10 minutes and then left again. Came back the next day. Didn't even troubleshoot the pump. He yanked the pump out and then cut the power cord and said, okay, well, we'll get a new pump. Tried to sell us a pump that was $200 more than the one that we got. And it was a cheaper one than what was already in there. It was very frustrating. And then he turned the system off and told me I needed a new float switch. Charged me $100 for a new float switch and the labor to do it. And it turns out that the system was off because he's like, I don't know why this still isn't working. And I walked over to the panel and I said, that's because you have the system turned off. So no float switch is going to work if you have the system turned off. And he's the one that turned it off because he was over there manipulating the pump. So pretty sure we got taken for $100 there. And the extra labor and the extra wiring harness and everything else. So I'm very disappointed that I was paying $70 an hour for someone who didn't know how to turn on the septic system. It's very frustrating. I shouldn't have to babysit a plumber. I keep looking out the window because the septic, I can see the septic from here. That's why I keep referencing it because I'm giving a dirty look. So that was very frustrating. It's still frustrating because he's being a weenie about it, to be nice. So that was very frustrating. It is my first experience of having trouble with septic, so we'll hope that doesn't happen for a while. Let's see. Work has been work. A lot of what I have to tell you involves Stork on the Fly, so that work-related stuff we will talk about later. Oh, there's a handsome boy. I've been trying to get together with Rachel from On the Rounds, the indie dyer that lives, 2 miles from me. The universe is working against us, and it's almost comical to this point. Come on. Come on. Let's see if he does his shoulder cuddle. Yep, he's gonna. He likes to cuddle, hanging over my shoulder. The first time it happened, I think I was delayed for weather. Hi. He likes to smell my breath. Quit it. It's just water. First time it was weather. The second time, her son Parker got sick. Third time, one of the girls was sick. I don't even know if it's the third. There's been many tries to get together And it's always something. This last week I was gonna come over. I got sick. I'm getting over a terribly nasty cold. Have not been sick in a couple years. Suppressed immune system, nasty cold, can't take very many medications, equals misery. So anyway, it's pretty comical that we have been trying to get together for a couple months now, and we just can't get it. So we're not planning anymore. I just shoot her a Facebook message in the morning and say, hey, how is everybody? Can I swing over and say hi? And it's going to happen at some point, I hope. So we will see. Today I had to finish my CFI renewal. I have to do that every 2 years, and I have to get that done by the end of the month. So I did that today, did that all morning, worked on bills, because today was payday, and I'm on day 131 if anybody cares. 18 weeks, 6 days, almost halfway. Yay! Sorry, I saw an email. That's why I thought of that. So yeah, we're just plugging along. We had an audit at work. UPS comes around about once a year. It's been a little longer than that this time. Basically, they're just trying to check and make sure that we're following the safety protocol. There's some stuff, and it's not the flying stuff, it's the on-the-ground stuff. So it's making sure the truck is so far away, and it's making sure we use the cones and the wands, and we marshal. And I always use the cones. We always marshal. We don't always do the 3 feet. Sometimes only 2 feet. It's fine. Everything's chalked. Nothing's going anywhere. If it's bad weather, we leave more space. So we had to do that. Everything went fine on my end. The drivers seemed everything went good for the drivers. But I'll know more tonight when I see them. Actual jet setting, like actually gonna go somewhere. Aruba. 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Aruba. 4 weeks. My honeymoon. Except now everyone's saying it's a baby moon because apparently people take vacations before their babies come. I didn't know this was a thing. I got it in an email. It's a baby moon, apparently. I did not know this. I don't know. I don't know if it's how long it's been a thing for. But it is our honeymoon. It is an all-inclusive resort. Awesome, since I can partake. This is water with lemon. Hot water with lemon. I'm not saying I might not down about 1,000 virgin pina coladas. But it will be fun. It'll be fine. It'll be a great time. So, anyway, that is in 4 weeks. We leave out of Portland. 1 stop on Southwest to Aruba, which is fantastic. We connect in Baltimore. Yes, Baltimore. So that's fabulous. And same thing on the way back. So we leave early in the morning. We get there about 1. We get home about 10, I think. Well, back to Portland at 10. Won't get home till probably midnight, but it'll be fantastic. I'm so excited. One of the gig store, which I'm sure I've mentioned, we like to go there for breakfast a lot. It's a little corner joint. I don't know what I keep kicking. Bugging me. Oh, it's a baggie. We were talking to the girls, and my honey said, oh yeah, we're going to Aruba, and they're like, oh really, Pam's going to Aruba. Pam is the woman that hooked me up with the whoopie pie filling for the wedding. She owns the gig store, and she got it directly from our suppliers, sold it to me for barely over cost, which was fantastic. And so yeah, she's going to Aruba. She's going to be there. We will be there while she is there. She's going to be there for like 9 or 10 days. 9 days, and we're only going to be there for 5. And we're going to be there the whole time she is. So she brought in a whole bunch of her brochures, and they give you a whole packet of coupons and Jeep adventures, and oh, what's the matter? It's not time for dinner. He's standing in the door crying. I don't know if you can hear him or not. But anyway, she gave us a whole bunch of stuff. It's all expired because it's from a couple years ago. They go every year, so maybe it's from last year. I didn't actually look. But at least it gives you an idea of snorkeling trips, little snoobas and scubas and submarines and water jetpack trips and massages and spas and casinos and restaurants and stuff. So, anyway, and it's raining. It's my stink face. So we're really excited. I'm sure we'll run into her. It's a pretty big resort complex. There's like 4 resorts that are all sister resorts, but I'm sure we'll be able to track her down at some point. There's probably Wi-Fi, so we can always Facebook and find each other. And then in June, my 27th week of pregnancy, of being a prego, we are going to Minnesota for my dad's wedding and our baby shower weekend. So that will be a quick 4-day trip, leaving on Friday, coming back on Monday. Dad's wedding's Friday night. Our baby shower is Saturday. Probably some baseball on Sunday, and then we'll come back. Yeah, he said, you know when you're coming home? And I said, I don't know why. And he goes, so probably sometime in June. He goes, well, whatever weekend you come home, that's when me and Diane are going to get married. I'm like, okay. So we found tickets that were affordable, and that's the week we came home. So that's the weekend that they're getting married. Pretty awesome. So it'll be a good weekend. So that's it for that. So en route, are you ready? Okay. So you know those honey socks? Yeah, they're still in the same spot they were a month ago, 6 weeks ago. But we have made. Remember where I was on my honey sweater? Remember that the trunk was done. I was working on the last arm. Well, now look where I am. Oops. See if I can not pop stitches out. I finished the other sleeve. And they're all joined together. So I have, look at me, I have a sweater. I made my honey try it on, and it looks kind of like a, you know, like in the 80s when the girls wore the shirts off the shoulders. Because I'm coming up the, this is the yoke, I don't even know. But it's about to here. So he's like, I look fabulous. And I was like, no, you don't actually. But this is the Highland Handmaids that Heather dyed for me in Dead Man's Fingers. So right now it has nice little armpit excess. That will obviously be Kitchenered or something. I'm not exactly sure what she recommends. I haven't read that far. But I am doing the ink decreases right now. If you can see that. It's a slip 2 together as if to knit 1, pass the 2 stitches over. It gives it a little more of a defined cable, or a little like more of a defined, you know. I don't know. Is that the raglan? I'm really terrible. I still can't tell you what parts of socks are, because I always think it's confusing. Like, I think the instep is actually the bottom, but I don't know why they don't just call it the bottom. I don't know. I seem terrible. I'm a bad knitter. Bad knitter. So anyway, this is a decrease every 3rd round, and then you knit 2 rounds. So I just keep knitting around, and eventually when I get down to 38 stitches, then I start doing the saddle. I'm so screwed. My knitter friends who have called on for sweater advice, you guys are going to get a call, because I am not quite sure what the heck she's talking about. So just plan for that. So that's en route, but I'm very happy with the progress on Jeremy's sweater. If it gets done in the summer, it gets done in the summer. He likes the feel of the wool. He's very happy with the color and the cut. He loves green and blue. Sorry. Those of you that are grammar people are going to hate this podcast. So, anyway, that is all I've been working on. I think I did finish, actually, a couple of little hats, which are somewhere in the cubes over there. I finished a couple swirl hats, because they're my favorite go-to. It's the same pattern, round and round and round, and I love it. So, they're over there somewhere. Take off. So, I've picked out a bunch of colors for a blanket. Some kind of crochet or knit. I'm not picky, as long as I can follow a crochet pattern, because I'm not very good with following a pattern. But some kind of feather and fan, or like a zigzag, and my friend Lisa Dykstra, Yarn for Yarn. I've talked about her on the podcast many times before, from my Michigander friend. She made a beautiful, I can't remember the name of the pattern, probably should have wrote it down. I have it queued. But it's a crochet pattern. It's a very subtle, kind of wavy, and I thought that'd be really cute to do for a blanket. So, I have that queued, and then I saw some other people working on some things, and I mentioned something to them, and mentioned it to a few people, and so anyway, I got someone wound up. I don't remember who, or I don't know who, to be honest. But I've got hats and booties also on the menu to make. So I've got to make a couple baby hats because my best friend from high school, Trina, she was one of my bridesmaids, had her little girl last week, healthy baby girl. It was scheduled C-section. She had high blood pressure. She was old. She's my age, and she was also had gestational diabetes. So the first labor was 16 hours of pushing, and then she had to have emergency C-section. So this time they're just like, you know what, we're just going to schedule it. Less stress on you, less stress on the baby, it's going to be easier. So her and baby are doing just fine. Little Margot was born nice and healthy, and mom is doing better. She's sore, but she's good. So she needs a hat and some booties, so I will be working on it. Well, I'll talk about that more on Stork on the Fly. Reservations, only a couple things. I got a wonderful package from our friend Jan in Canada. I talked about Jan last year. Her and her husband Phil drove through Maine on their way to the other side of Canada, and she made me those wonderful socks, and now she's made me this wonderful cowl. And I'm sorry, it's a little squished, but it's fantastic. Do you see this? This is Highland Handmaids. She sent the tag with it. Very smart. It's her white maple sock, which is 100% superwash merino, close to the nest. So she bought from my Heather, and then she knit me something, and then she sent it to me. Like, ooh, it smells good too. So it's a beautiful. I like that it's close fitting. Like, there's a place for big loopy cowls, but there's something to be said about this. She said in the letter what the pattern was. I don't remember what it is. Bad podcaster. I'm glad you guys love me for me and not for my podcasting ability, because you probably wouldn't watch anymore. Boy. She also made my honey a pair of socks, which he has. Oh, wow! I almost dumped my water in the camera over. I'd cut that out, but you guys always think it's funny, so I'm just gonna. Here. What was I saying? His socks have been shanghaied back up to where he works, so they're not here for me to show you. They're wonderful. They're out of Fiber Nymph Dye Works, which is Lisa, and she had a custom color made so she made a pair for her husband and a pair for Jeremy. And they're fabulous. So we both have awesome fitting socks from Jan in Canada. She also sent some other edible treats, which are long gone. Way gone. Forever ago gone. But delicious. And the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the Amazon banners that are on my page. I haven't taken them down yet, but they're going to be going away. Probably in the next month or so. I need to figure out how to wrap that up. Most people, there are very few of you that are actually using it, which means that it doesn't make sense for me to do the drawing because nobody's using it. There's only a couple people that are shopping on there, and I appreciate you guys doing it, but or I can leave the banners up and just stop doing the drawings, because there's just not very much, and it's fine. It's not a big deal. The first couple months were crazy because you guys were amazing, but I was podcasting every week and I was being consistent, and there is no consistency in my podcasting, and I know that, and I appreciate those of you that do watch when I do podcast. But if I do take them down, or even if you don't click through my website anymore, I would like you to consider going to smile.amazon.com. And you just set it up through your. I got something in my eye. You set it up through your Amazon account, and you pick a charity. It could be anything from Susan G. Komen, which is big stuff, and you like nationwide stuff, to Shriners, to big charities, to small local charities. I can't shop through my own link. Go figure. It makes sense. So I shop through Amazon Smile. My bag's been giving me trouble too. Amazon Smile, and it's for DEW Haven. It's the Domestic, Exotic, and Wild Animal Kingdom. They've changed their name to Do Haven, DEW Haven. It's the people that we gave all those towels and stuffed animals that you guys sent us a couple years ago. It's the same place. They've had a documentary made about them. I saw it at the Camden Film Festival. They were at another film festival down in Connecticut, I believe. They showed it again in Camden a couple weeks ago. They're going to another one this fall, I believe. It's called Wild Home, and it's so fantastic. It's only $15. You should really just go buy it. We went and bought ours last year, but they can't release it to the public until they're done with the all the film festivals. Because once it's sold, I don't know what the legalities are of it, but anyway, they can't sell it to us until they're done with their film festivals. So, I choose to give it to Jew Haven. So if you want to give it to one of my local charities, that's great. If not, find yourself a local charity and give it away that way. It's the same idea. They get a percentage of everything you buy, which is great. So that's where my Amazon shopping dollars go. So our other reoccurring segment is Chickens on the Fly. And we have 6 new chickens. Baby chicks. We got some Isa Browns. They're brown egg layers. We got them at the local Tractor Supply. We were waiting for some that weren't ugly. We could not find our Blue Lace Reds that we really, really wanted. We waited way too long to order. Those sold out in like January. So unfortunately, we didn't get those. They're our favorite. They're the most pretty. We like pretty birds. Yeah, I know it sounds dumb, but it's true. So these are kind of a reddish feather with some cream and white feathers that accompany that. We did get 6, brought them home, got them all set up. My honey was home that night, so he watched them overnight. And I got home the next morning, and I was looking at them, and, you know, they're all downy and fluffy. And I'm looking, and I'm like, oh no. Now, for those of you that might have a squeamish stomach about poo, now would be time to skip ahead a minute, or maybe 2 minutes. Something you have to watch for in the first 5, 6, 7 days that you have chicks is you have to watch for pasty butt. Now, because they're downy and they're not feathery, their poo can stick to their down and actually plug up their vent. That's what their bum is called, is a vent. It's the same place that the eggs come out from. There's different ducts that lead to that exit area. Trying to be nice without just saying what I really would say, but I'm trying to be polite. So anyway, 3 of them had poo pasted over their poor little bums, so they couldn't go potty. Now that kills them. If you don't fix it, it will kill them. They don't have the ability to get it off, and it will kill them. So if you ever buy chicks, you need to watch them for the first week and make sure they don't have pasty bum, because it will kill your chickens. So immediately, Mama freaks out. So I grab a box, throw the 3 in there. Well, not throw. Put the 3 in there, run to the bathroom, or go to Google quick, because I've never had one have that trouble. My first batch didn't have any trouble with that. So I Googled it. I'm like, okay, so I had to switch out my SD card. So Mama flies into action. Get the water at a good temperature, a little cooler than warm, because you don't want to burn them, and you are, washing a delicate area. So put them under the water, and just let the water do its thing. You just let it run over it, and you just gently let it, pull it out of the. You don't really pull it. You just kind of brush it so it comes out of the down, and eventually it all came out. And one of the poor little girls, as soon as I set her down after I cleaned her up, she pooed. So she definitely was feeling some ailment. All 3 of them were moving. They weren't as lively as the other 3, so they're definitely under a little bit of distress. So I put a little sugar in their water, and I did the same thing with all 3. And 2 of them didn't really like the hairdryer, but the 3rd one just loved it. She just kept spreading her wings out and putting her face in it, and she loved it. So got them all taken care of. Felt terrible. Bad chicken mama. First thing you do when you buy chickens from anywhere is check them for that, because they've got down. They don't have feathers. It just falls off the feathers, but the down is very sticky. So luckily I caught that before I did any permanent damage. And they're doing well. They were inside for 4 weeks. We just moved them out this week. They're in the shed. They've got lots more space to jump around and fly around, and they love worms, and they love treats, and they love digging around in the grass and bugs, and they just love it all. So they don't seem bothered by the big chickens. big chickens seem a little bothered by them. I've got a little penned-in area where they can run around outside, and I got the big chickens over by them, and the big chickens are like, what is that? They're watching them. The little chickens are like, what's up? You know, they're just doing their thing, and then one of them jumps and runs at the other little chickens, and the big ones, you know, they all run away, and it's quite funny. So we do have to get them integrating so we can put them all into the coop together. They're still very much smaller than the other ones, so it will be a while before they're fully integrated, but I would like to get them running around together a little bit soon so that they can get used to each other. So that might be better now, earlier than later. We'll see how it goes. Stork on the fly. Alright, here's the big part. So for those of you that aren't going to watch the baby section, I'll talk to you later. Have a great week. Or month, the way it's been going. So, we did elect to do the genetic testing. I did get some feedback on that. Some people wanted to know why I wanted to know. I know some of it was aimed at religious beliefs. And not that what I do is anybody's business, to be honest. But the reason we elected to do the genetic testing is because I'm a planner. And if there's going to be something wrong with my baby that I can help with, that I can prepare for, that I can do while he's still in there cooking, I want to be able to do it. So my point was that if I'm prepared, I'm going to be better. And there could still be things. And there could be things that happen when he's born and he's a baby and 2 years old and 8 years old. But as much as I can be prepared right now, I want to do that. One of the questions they did ask us is, would you terminate if something is wrong? The only way I would do that is if it was going to risk my life. That's my choice. And even if that wasn't my selection, it's nobody's business. But some people did ask, and I told them, you know, why I wanted to know, and that's fine. But I don't talk about religion on here, and I'm not going to start now. But, so anyway, that's why we wanted to do it. That's why I wanted to do it. My honey really left it up to me, and we are very lucky, very blessed that we were part of the 99.6% that don't have any of those markers for those major genetic problems. Doesn't mean that something still couldn't be bad. I had an AFP last week, which is the testing for open spinal cord and spina bifida type of things. That's not back yet. Well, I haven't been to the doctor either, but so that was done, and but all the genetic testing was good, and like I said, the happy side effect of that is that we know it's a boy. So now the search for names begin. We have 3 or 4 that we really like, and we're just kind of playing around with those. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if I'll tell you guys what it is anyway, to be honest. Even if we do pick it out, but we haven't yet. Nausea's mostly gone. I'm very tired still all the time. If I rush around too much, I still will get nauseous. So I have to take everything, just give myself more time. Baby reveals. Oh, we did gender reveals. So I got cupcakes because we're going to do the reveals Easter weekend, but my dad's family did theirs the week before. Well, my family can't find out before I find out, so I got some cupcakes. I drove up to see my honey at work, surprised him. Made a wonderful dinner, did our reveal. It was fantastic. It was fun. I got pink balloons and blue balloons, and we got the cupcakes with the filling, and we had dinner, and I was very nervous, and the envelope had come ripped. I don't think I told you guys that. The postal service destroyed the envelope. So I could have very easily looked, but I immediately put it in a bigger envelope. I can't remember. I don't think this was on the last one. It might have been. I don't remember. But I sealed it back up, gave it to the bakery. They made us cupcakes. We opened it. I cried, of course. And so now we have a little boy. My dad's family, I got cakes from Colburn's Bakery, which if you're from the Midwest, Colburn's is awesome. And I wish they had Colburn's out here because their cakes are awesome. So I had them make one for my dad's family and for my mom's family. FaceTimed with both of them while they did it. The videos are on my computer somewhere. I'll try to include those at the end. But it was very fun. It was very fun to watch everyone's reaction. And one of my cousin's sons was very excited and jumping up and down. And And really, we're just happy that the baby's healthy so far. My pregnancy's going well. Doctors doesn't have any concerns. She is taking every opportunity to test me early for things. We did a first run of a 1 hour glucose test last week. That was fine. The drink was less than fantastic. I didn't have a problem drinking it, but man, is it sweet. It's like Orange Crush with double the sugar, or maybe triple. It's ridiculous. But that came back normal, so that was good. She did do the early testing because my high BMI, because technically I'm in the obese. Yeah. So, anyway, because I'm obese, according to the medical people's fantastic chart, she took that opportunity to test me early. So, insurance can pay for it? Fine. Our next appointment, our other reveal was to my honey sister. He took her the envelope and she opened it up and she jumped up and down and screamed, and that was very cute too. May 8th is our anatomy ultrasound. It's our 20-week ultrasound. So they will look at, if we didn't do the genetic testing, that's when they would have told us boy or girl if the baby cooperates. Since we already know, probably get some confirmation of that if he cooperates. They'll also look at his organs and facial features and look for anything abnormal. There's a bunch of stuff that they look for to what do you call it? To see if there's any other conditions that could cause, reason for concern. So that apparently is a very long ultrasound, 45 minutes to an hour, I guess. And I get to do that on a full bladder. Yay. Glucose testing I talked about. I went through some mega baby bump envy. I'm already a little overweight, or obese according to the medical industry. And so I already have a bump. It has nothing to do with having a baby. And the few other people that are pregnant are very thin girls. And I'm not bagging on anybody who's thin. I'm just wickedly envious and jealous. And I know I've put myself here. I'm not blaming anybody but myself. It's my own choices. Not bagging on anybody who's thin. I'm just jealous. Anyway, they posted pictures of their cute little baby bumps. And I completely had a meltdown. I had no bump. I wasn't feeling pregnant. I was very frustrated. But I do have a bump now. I can tell. My mom can tell. My honey can tell. People who don't know me probably just think I'm getting fat. Or that I am just fat. Or overweight, or whatever you want to call it. Chubby, whatever. But I'm getting a very round, like my chub isn't contoured anymore. It's getting fairly round. So, I'm definitely feeling it. I do have a lot of stretching of my ligaments in my abdomen, which is uncomfortable. Not painful, just achy. But I went through a big meltdown with the whole baby bump thing, wanting one. Like, having a bump for a purpose, not just because I eat too much stuff I shouldn't. I still have problems with that. I have body image issues. It's how it's always been. Maybe someday I'll get over it. I'm working on setting up some part-time work when I am on maternity leave, since I will be out for probably close to 3 months. Yeah, probably close to 3 months. I will be off of work. And unfortunately, 2 of that will be before the baby comes. I wish that could all be after. Well, maybe about half that will be before. I won't be able to do my job. Oh, crap. I won't be able to do my job well once I have a good-sized bump. There's a lot of climbing, and I think if my doctor knew how much climbing around I did, she probably would not say, oh, it's up to you. So I think once I can't physically do my job anymore, I'm going to have to take leave. I do have short-term disability, but only for 13 weeks. So that will help, but it's not going to cover our bills. So I'm working on that, and I've got a couple options. So that should be fine, but I'm trying to get that stuff all nailed down because it will be summertime. It is busy up here in the summer, so it's a good time to be looking for part-time work because people are looking for help. So that is good. Like I said, the doctor's very happy with pregnancy so far. I regained 3 of the 9 pounds I lost in the first trimester, and it's holding steady there. And she's fine with that. I'm fine with that. My honey worries that I'm not gaining enough weight. Doctor already said I shouldn't, if I do my pregnancy right, I shouldn't gain that much because I'm already overweight. My body will compensate for that. So, or actually not have to compensate so much. I told my company the weekend that I posted the last podcast. I had a meeting with my company. I had already told them over the phone. They are still being super supportive. Both the guys that I told are fathers and grandparents, and they were very excited and almost sounded like family, like, oh, that's fantastic, that's wonderful. And then we had to go to bat with Ameriflight. Ameriflight's the new company that bought us out in October. We are staying Wiggins, but all of our benefits are switching over to Ameriflight. Well, when you sign up for short-term disability, it says if you've seen a doctor for a condition in the previous 3 months, you are not covered under short-term disability. Luckily, my HR lady went to bat for me. Ameriflight went to bat for me and said because it was a buyout situation and I didn't technically change my job, I will be covered under their short-term disability. So I elected to keep doing that, and I did. So, stitches off the needles, stitches off the needles! Coming up to another decrease. So, that is good news. Very good news. I was very, very stressed out about that. Ameriflight is a very large company. I didn't know if they would play ball nicely. And they did. So I was very impressed that they were willing to support me through that as well. It has already happened at least once that I know of that I have mentioned loving something on Plurk, on Instagram, or somewhere else that I've noted a project that someone is doing, only a few days later to get a text message or a phone call from Heather saying, did you look at something like this? I'm like, yeah. She's like, don't make it. So apparently some of you out there are already planning things for our little peanut, which is fantastic. I'm very appreciative. And if that happens, that you are working on something and I favorite it or cue it or ask you lots of questions about it, and you're worried that I'm going to make it, please contact Heather, and Heather will tell me to knock it off. So, I'm not sure which ones it was because there's been a few that I've mentioned, but someone said to not look at certain patterns. So, I am doing that. I've bought a bunch of 0 to 3 month stuff. So when I find more stuff on clearance, I will be moving to the 3 to 6 month and bigger stuff. Babies in our family don't stay little very long, if they're little at all. So, not doing much on the newborn side of things, gonna start moving to the bigger things. The things that I knit for him are gonna start being probably 6 to 9 month stuff, because even if it's winter, I can layer him up and put that stuff on top. So, he'll be born in September, so at 3 to 6 to 9 months, it will be cold. So feel free to knit bigger things. I'm not asking you to knit bigger things, but if you are interested in knitting anything, by all means, knit it the next size up. He will probably get more wear out of it, to be completely honest. And considering it's the end of April and we still have the threat of snow, it's cold here for a long time, so we'll need it well into April. September, October, November, December. That's 7 months old, so you'd be very, very comfortable knitting 6 to 9 month stuff for our little nugget. So, feel free to do that. I'm not saying you have to, but I know people are asking. The other thing that I've been getting some notes about is people who want to either buy stuff or make stuff. So there's a Stork on the Fly tab on the website at the top. It's up by the quick links, Highlands on the Fly retreat. It says Stork on the Fly. On there is information to the 3 registries. We're registered at Target, Amazon, and Baby List. Now, if you click on Baby List, it includes the Amazon registry and the Target registry. But you can also add things to it from other websites. So I can add stuff from Etsy to the Baby List. So it's an easy way to have all of them, but I did separate the other 2 out just in case someone prefers to use Amazon or loves Target, or you want to use your Target card or your Amazon gift cards or whatever. We are accepting gift cards from both Amazon and Target to pick up stuff that we may need that we may not get as gifts. But I'm not saying you have to buy us anything. I'm not. People have asked, so I'm giving them an outlet. Our address is also on there. There's only one Etsy person on there right now. She's actually a friend of mine from Manchester. She makes cloth diapers. So any of you that are cloth diapering people, there's a handful of them on there. Feel free to buy those for us. I think I only put 1 or 2 of each. I don't. You can give me 10 if you want to. They're not cheap, but hers are great because they fit from newborn to like 2 years. They're expandable, which is really awesome. I don't think we're going to exclusively cloth diaper, but I would like to give some of them a try. So, yeah, feel free to explore that if anybody is interested. That's all I got. If that's not enough. It has been a busy month. Continues to be busy here. We'll probably only get busier. Nothing outside today because it's still raining. I gotta go to work in a couple hours anyway. But work is going well. I haven't had any issues working so far. They do all my loading for me in Manchester, which is great. I am starting to feel the baby bump, and I should be able to feel him start moving anytime. So I'm also very excited for that. I want to feel him moving. I thought it'd be weird at first, and now I'm just excited. So it was good to hear his heartbeat at our last appointment. It had been a month, so it was good to hear it again. I have it audioed again because I love listening to it. So anyway, we'll get a better look at our little boy in a couple weeks, and yeah, that's all I got. So thank you for tuning in, and like I always say, I'll hopefully do it again before we go to Aruba. I should just pick a day and put it on my schedule so it's like a scheduled thing to do. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for being excited with us. See you very soon.